I think the 2017 we experienced expansion, given that we had better strategies to penetrate the marketplace. We provided a lot of solutions and alternatives to the building and construction industry. I think the projections and outlook for 2018 are even much more positive for Rwanda. And in fact, within the East African community where we operate, there is going to be huge infrastructure delivery. Government is set to this year start the construction of the Bugesera Airport. There's also other alternative build technology that is coming in with the likes of AfriPrecast. There's a huge boom in terms of the housing. There's a huge boom in terms of the road infrastructure delivery. There's also the whole thing of the SGR, standard gauge railway line, which is going to link Mombasa to the landlocked countries all the way through Kenya, through Uganda to Kigali. So we are quite excited with this whole commitment by governments within the East African communities towards delivering on, we call the transnational infrastructure delivery. So in country, Rwanda, we are quite excited to remain that strategic partner to our government to provide all the cement that the government requires. So yeah, the outlook is quite positive.
Interesting. You did mention something there on the SGR, the standard gauge railway that will be coming into Kigali either through Isaka or through Nairobi, Kampala in here. Yeah. How much do you see this affecting Cimerwa's, say, the business after production of cement or the production itself, given the fact that you are still importing coal from different countries, Southern Africa, and also on the other side, Tanzania? What are we looking at here?
It will help unlock some of the constraints we've had. You mentioned the fact that we're importing coal from be it Tanzania, Kenya, and inherent in the landed price of coal, as I've always said before, is the cost of transport. So with a standard gauge railway, it will probably help us to use the likes of Isaka dry port, if you rail in raw material to there, or you use the Kigali dry ports, and in and around Kigali find an area where we can offload our coal and take it down to the plant. So hopefully, and I'm very much optimistic that it will help us to unlock and deliver the coal price to the plant cheaper.
Becky, last time when I was at the Cimerwa plant in Bugarama, you had mentioned earlier that you were looking at mid-2018 to go full capacity, 100%. But today, we're looking at a different story. We're looking at mid-2019. What caused this setback? I mean, some people some assumptions have come up with individuals saying it's because you're trying to control the price points here. Is that really right? Or maybe we're looking at something else?
It's none of the above. we wouldn't be able to try and control the price. I think that would be irresponsible of us in a country where we are a strategic partner to the government. In fact, the expansion, our ramp up was forecast to be in the mid-2019. Now we are fast-tracking it to mid-2018. I mean, as of in the month of March to April, we'll be going through a major, when I say major, one of the kind major maintenance schedule, which is the annual maintenance that we normally would do. But this time around, we're calling it major maintenance because we will also include with that some modification and upgrade in the plant in order to help us expand and meet the forecast demand. So we're going to fast track the ramping up. So middle of this year, we should be able to afford selling all of the cement that is currently demanded in this country, which is around 550,000. As we speak.
That is major maintenance, but now let's look at a minor maintenance that is going to happen, say, a week from now or 2 weeks from now. What does this have to mean for the cement industry here in Rwanda, given the only producer in the country is actually going to have, say, a shutdown for 2 weeks to do maintenance? How much is this going to have an impact on?
Michael, can we swerve away from calling this a shutdown, because people might hear a shutdown and be concerned. It's a maintenance. It's an annual maintenance schedule. What we do in our stages of production, you have got the raw mill stage, you've got the kiln line, you've got the finish mill stage. So we don't shut down the entire plant. That would be irresponsible. I mean, shutting down the entire plant for 3 weeks and as such not able to provide the cement that this country so much need. So we do it in stages. The raw mill shutdown will not affect the cement provision. And as we speak now, we are ramping up our stocks in the cement mills to try and ensure that we have the cement that will be required at the time when we are doing maintenance in one of our mills. So our finish milling stage has got 2 mills. We've got 2 of them running in on and off stage, given the power and electricity planning that we are doing. But as we currently speak, we are prepared to incur cost to run all those mills flat out so that we are able to build stock to meet the demand during the time when we have only 1 mill running. So when you have the kiln maintenance, it need not to affect the cement availability because you would have built up enough stock on clinker, and that's all the part of our plans in terms of our scheduled maintenance, which we do in stages from raw milling, from clinker line process to cement milling process. So the market shouldn't be concerned. There will be cement available.
All right. Now, as of 2010, Rwanda's biggest import in the country was cement from the region. Now, we did see by the year between 2015, you ramping up production. Now we're looking at a 600,000 tons per annum, which obviously you have not hit yet, but looking forward to that. How much have you contributed to lowering Rwanda's trade deficit?
The Minister of Finance last year, there was reporting that Cimerwa contributed towards the reduction of importation of cement, and as such, the contribution that we made was to halve the spend on importation of cement from 812 million USD to 420 million USD. So it is halved. We contributed purely because we went into the marketplace and ensured that we provide most of the cement that would have seen itself coming through the borders and the country spending it in the form of dollars.
Let's look on the Strengthening Rwanda campaign that you're looking at today. What does it entirely mean?
Look, we're changing our brand identity. You know, people used to associate cement to dust, to construction. There was nothing so sexy, if I may use the word, about cement. But we've said, let us look at the positive side on what has cement helped to enable a country like Rwanda. We are saying we've played part in education because our cement has seen to it that building of schools is realized. In as much as we build schools ourselves in the communities where we operate and sponsor some education, but most of the institutions that you'll find in Rwanda, in them, our cement has been part thereof. We're saying we play part in sport because the stadiums that have been built in Rwanda have seen part of it realizing through the Cimerwa cement. We're saying we participate in health. You'll see this doing its rounds in the media house, in the TV, in the newspapers, saying our brand is so strong, we've strengthened Rwanda. We've partake in hospitals, in building of hospitals. We've partake in sport, in education, in health, and so on and so forth. We're trying to plant this so that it forms and it syncs with the Rwandan people into saying, indeed, we have an investor, a partner like Cimerwa, who's been with us through thick and thin. And our strengthening of Rwanda is not something we are talking about now. It's something that has been with our people since from 1984 when this company was formed. So the provision of cement as a partner to the government, it's not something we've started last year or this year or when PPC bought a stake in Cimerwa, but it's something that has been there from the early days when investment into manufacture of cement from mining of limestone to finished product came about in the in Bugarama region. Yes.
Becky, that sounds very interesting, but now allow me to drive you on quite something that has to do with all Rwandans. Now, prices of the cement has been kind of quoted a little bit higher, yet there were hopes that with the new plant and ramping up production, this would go lower. I mean, what are your thoughts on the same?
Not really. I don't share the same thought. I think probably what we need to share with the market is the fact that the price of cement since from 2015 has come down year on year. The recent stats that I've checked in our price of cement is that the price of cement, Rwandan price of cement, has come down year on year, but also our price as Cimerwa price year on year by 5 to 6%. And we as a responsible cement producer in Rwanda, we want to commit to our people that we want better ways, cheaper ways to make cement, so that we continuously reduce the price of cement. Price of cement in Rwanda obviously is bound to come down, because we continuously, with my technical team as well as the government through PSF, looking at ways we can reduce the cost of fuel and electricity.
All right, now you did mention there that Cimerwa is moving clearly from the layman way of making cement and all of that, going modernized, that is since the new plant, and now you've moved into the bulk cement as of last year. Just help us understand, maybe this is actually more of my last one, how was the market reaction on the bulk cement, and has it had any impact on your sales as of yet?
Absolutely. You know, we were surprised. We had sales forecast of, from the time we launched it in August. We didn't see it doubling the volumes that we recorded around August. And volumes as we speak now triple. And we are looking at even inviting more bulk tanking capacity, using the local transporters obviously to try and encourage the whole thing of local procurement from the made in Rwanda. And as such also service such in local currency. So the projections in terms of huge infrastructure projects that we see are informing us that there's even going to be more demand for bulk solution than what we've just seen. But to answer you, it's been quite positive. I mean, our bulk solution has grown from strength to strength, and we as of today talk from hundreds to thousands in terms of provision of cement month on month.
Interesting. Now, before we let it go, we are looking at PPC, Pretoria Portland Cement, that owns majority stake in Cimerwa, listed on the Johannesburg Stock Exchange. When should we expect, or how fast are we yet to see Cimerwa listing on the Rwanda Stock Exchange?
It's quite thought-provoking. I think in no time probably, we will be coming to you and telling you that now Cimerwa, in line with the strategic thinking of our shareholders, the government and PPC, we've taken a decision to be listed on a stock exchange. It's thought-provoking. We will look into it. In fact, we've started discussing it in some of other forums within the